Hey, this is Charlotte Pierce and IPNE, Independent Publishers of New England, bringing you our seventh or eighth and final conference preview. The conference starts tomorrow. It's online, all virtual. Let me get some info up here for you. You can register at ipne.org/conference. And the conference registration includes 1 year of IPNE membership. So that's kind of a freebie, and we are in a growth phase. So we're coming out with lots of great new educational and networking opportunities for members in the coming year and beyond. Like I said, I'm Charlotte Pierce. I produce Face the Book TV for IPNE and my company, Pierce Press. Today we're reviewing Beyond the Initials and Acronyms, the Benefits of Membership in Publishing Organizations. So writers and publishers alike can benefit. It's Friday tomorrow at 3 p.m. in room 1. And if you register for the conference, you'll get all the details immediately. So no worries. And I'd like to introduce our previewer and panelist for this session, Kiki Ringer. Hi.
Hello, Charlotte. I'm excited to be here.
You put another brick in the wall there.
Right. Slowly building it.
Yeah. I feel a song coming.
Right.
It's so great to have you. And I think this is one of them. I mean, they're all really important, great sessions that we have lined up, but just to leverage a membership in a publishing or a writing organization that you belong to. Obviously, you can't belong to all of them, but you're on this panel. And tell me a little bit about your experience with publishing organizations and your panel so we can get people to sign up.
So I'm really excited because I have been in publishing for about 30 years now, and I've been on the production end of everything. So I started at Penguin Putnam in children's books. I worked at a literary agency. I have, managed authors, production and all of their whole careers, but I've never been on the writing side of it. So I had moved down to Florida and was really looking for community. And I thought, well, who better to find than the Authors Guild? If I'm going to hang out with people, I want to hang out with some like-minded people who can help me venture into the other side of publishing and the writing side of it. And that's kind of where I don't know if I should admit this, but I did kind of sneak into the Authors Guild.
They were How do you sneak into the Authors Guild?
All right. Well, I had my eye on them for, since I worked at the literary agency. Yeah. One thing that I always loved about the Authors Guild is their representation of and advocacy for authors, right? So now, especially with AI being so prominent everywhere, and just how does that work with authors, and how do they deal with this new issue? I just really always appreciated how the Authors Guild represented authors and the advocacy. Mm-hmm. So I'd always had my eye on them, but I had never thought that I should be a member since I was on the production side.
Sure.
So why would I be there? So once I decided I was going to foray into writing some picture books and get into kids lit, I thought, well, I should probably hang out with some people who do this. So when I was down in Florida, looking around, I'd gotten on the Authors Guild website. I was getting their emails, and they said they were looking for an ambassador for the Tampa chapter. All right, I'll sign up. So we did an interview, and they asked if I would be the ambassador. Excellent. So when I went in to sign up for all the things, I said, hey, I don't have a membership yet. So they didn't realize that I wasn't a member yet. So that's how I kind of snuck in, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to be a part of any organization, just volunteer.
Yeah, and then they'll take you because they need volunteers like mad. Yeah.
Right. But it's been really fun, and it's been great because, as we know, writing is such a solitary endeavor, right? So many writers work alone. and there's not somebody to ask questions, just to kind of have that water cooler talk with. And so it's been a lot of fun on this side of publishing too.
Yeah, well, I've been a member of IPNE and a board member and of various things since 2008. So it's like, it's right now, I can't quit because, I've just been too long. Right. But it's pretty much been the source of all the information I have about publishing and my learning experience in book publishing. I worked in New York in publishing in various magazines and stuff, but mostly being acquisitions and things like that. So,
well, and for a trusted source too. Yeah. That's what I love about these organizations, being a part of the IBPA, the Authors Guild, the IPNE, just there's a lot of information out there. Yeah. A lot of it's not good. There's a lot of scammers out there.
I know, I every day I go on Facebook or Instagram and there's somebody saying, just we can publish your book, and yes, they might print it, but will they do anything else?
And for writers who don't know, and this is what I found, there was a big disconnect between the Authors Guild, the knowledge of the final product, right? Of how do they publish. And so I that's one reason I love being that bridge between the publishing side and the writing side, so that they don't get hooked up with scammers, so they don't lose thousands of dollars not getting what they want or they need. Like you said, you can print a book, but what good is that?
The world is not going to beat a path to your door. Right. And so you're a member of IBPA also, because we have, one of your panelists is Christopher Locke, who is a longtime officer for IBPA, and we're really lucky to have him. You know him as well?
Yes, already? I fangirl over him all the time. Shh, don't tell him I said that.
Yeah.
I have to be on a panel with him and try to hold my own. But absolutely, and it's just, again, they're just that community that the IBPA can build between publishers and author publishers and hybrid publishers, and just kind of knowing who you can trust and getting that out there is really important.
And there's so many there are, not to say that the writers union is not valuable, because it's very valuable, but there's so many writers groups and things like that around, especially for fiction authors. You can find a good group, but we have Stephanie Chandler from the Nonfiction Authors Association coming to your panel. And that's something that, people don't always, there's a lot of nonfiction authors out there. The niches can be very well marketed, in nonfiction, because identified and marketed too.
Right, right. And I think that's, again, with the IBPA and all these different factions, having those places that you can trust, where you can go for the information, like, how do I get my book out there? How do I find my target readers? What kind of marketing do I need to do? It takes a village, right, to get the book out there.
And I'm sorry, I think I said you were part of National Writers Union, but it's Authors Guild, right?
Authors Guild, yeah.
Yeah. Are they similar organizations? Are they?
There are a lot out there, and then there's the subsets of them. Because now there's the FAPA for the Florida Authors and Publishers Association. There's
that's a part of IBPA.
Underneath IBPA, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of good ones out there, and I think it's really looking for what are you wanting to get out of it?
Yeah.
Right. So kind of just don't just join a group to join a group, but I was really looking for that community of writers. I wanted to kind of get down to that level.
I know what you're looking for beforehand. Yeah, exactly. Well, and then I wanted to say, so IPNE, Independent Publishers of New England, if you're just tuning in and you don't know about us, we are having a conference tomorrow and Saturday. And we draw membership from all 6 New England states. So it's a wide geographical area. Small states, but a lot of them. So we also have regional groups, and we encourage our members to join a regional group or start one, and we will support them. So, if you want, now that the pandemic's over, you can get together in person. Are your Authors Guild groups in person or?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do a lot in person. We've our Tampa St. Pete chapter is pretty widespread also. And so we've been doing a lot of Zoom events lately. Just at monthly writers socials where we can all get together, and that way people who are a little less mobile can also join us. But then we'll do
so you have hybrid groups or
yeah.
Which takes a little bit of, if you're the organizer, it takes a little bit of
I've got some really good support over at the Authors Guild. So we have a really good team to help kind of get the word out. But we've got our regional chapters that do different events on all the different topics, right, that writers need. Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you how many authors have come to me and to other publishers in IPNE. I've got this manuscript. What do I do now? And so that business part is, even Grub Street is starting to do a lot of business related things for writers in the Grub Street in Boston writers group. So tell me a little bit about, so you did say a little bit about your background, but you've gone from, are you an agent as well, or?
So this is what gets very confusing. I started in publishing about 30 years ago at Penguin Putnam in children's books.
Okay, yeah.
And then I always thought I wanted to be an agent. Well, when I interviewed for the agency, he said to me, "Are you planning on getting rich?" And I thought, oh, well, hey, I got caught on this question once before when they asked me if money would matter, and then they lowballed my salary. So I said, I need to make a living. And his comment was, good, because you're never going to get rich in this business. And of course, that comment is stuck. But so as I was working at the agency, you could only get paid as an agent if you sold. So you're only commission only. So I thought, well, I do a lot of the marketing side of it, because when I was at the agency, we'd sell the book, and then inevitably the authors would call me up and say, what now? How do I market my book? So I would help them step through step back. And this is back in the day before Facebook and things. So it was a little bit more strategic.
Sometimes I don't know how we even functioned.
I know.
Like, I look at my phone and I think, how did I even do anything without this?
How would we have done this right now? We wouldn't.
Yeah, right. Now. Yeah. So
that's how I got into it. And then I thought, well, if I want to get paid for this, I'm going to call myself a manager. So that's where I made up the title. I think it was over 15 years ago now when I started my company. So it's KLR Literary Management. And it's basically giving authors the place where all they do is write. There's no reason that they need to learn about BISAC codes and ISBNs and metadata and keywords and distribution channels and all of those things. If they want to know about it, fantastic. But sometimes they just think, like you said, I've got this manuscript. What do I do with it now?
Yeah, and those are important things, but they're like, you have to decide what you're good at and what you're good at learning and what you can learn in the remaining time.
And again, there's a lot of great information out there, but it's kind of sorting through all of it. So I try to cut down the chatter, so that get down to what the nitty gritty is that they need.
Right.
And so from there, then I've kind of decided to delve into children's books, because I really had to figure out where did my love of reading come from? And that was definitely from picture books when I was a little kid. So
mine too. I would stand them up on the rug in my, and just kind of live in them.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we had all these books, and I just stand them up, and I'd pretend I was just in the books.
It's kind of almost like your background now.
Yeah, I found this thing. It was really great. But so in the panel, I assume that you're just going to present each of your publishing organizations or writers organizations and talk about how to leverage
kind of
the
I think that the benefits of what each one brings.
Yeah.
And then again, you know, do you need to tie them together? Like, I love that bridge between the Authors Guild and the IBPA. For me, I feel like that's a really good one. Having, you know, working in one and then kind of living in another. So
Yeah.
and like we said, there are different, you know, what are you looking to get out of it?
Sure. Yeah, and like I as I said, I joined IPNE in 2008, and you know, just by diving in and, you know, as my dad would say, making fur fly, you know, just like volunteering, going to the events, you know, just listening to people, that's where you learn. So well, thank you so much for coming and using this
Charlotte.
panel. And I think it's so important because it can unlock, these organizations can unlock all this information. You can hire people, you know, it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
So
we're a good community, right? And I was at a publishing conference recently, and somebody said, you know, we got to stop being gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's get that information out. We all want to see quality books. That's what we want. And so why not share that information?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And you can, I mean, each book is unique, even though there's a lot of them. I guess you're competing for the book dollar in some ways. But, you know, your book is not the same as someone else's. And when you find your niche, it's great.
Somebody out there just waiting to read your story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kiki. And
thank you, Charlotte.
I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 3. This is exciting. Yes, I'm so excited. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And I just wanted to review again, you're watching Facebook TV, produced by Pierce Press, and it's an IPNE conference preview. And tomorrow you can get all the information from all our different topics, ipne.org/conference. And the registration includes a year of IPNE membership. And Kiki has been gracious enough to present one of the panels. You can go back to our previous previews if you're still on the fence about the conference and, you know, get a taste of a few more. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.